After a very chilled first day, we decided to head out and do a really big hike. And it started out kind of in this forest and just beautiful setting around, beautiful landscape, little houses kind of lining the hills. And then we had to go up a really steep hill, but the view up at the top of the mountain was so beautiful, as you can see here. So we reached the top of, it's a really nice view of this mountain over here. As you saw earlier with the eagle painting or the hawk painting, I'm not too sure if it's an eagle or hawk. On this trip I was so inspired by everything that I saw, so I've been creating a bunch of different drawings, and this is kind of like a self-portrait, I guess, of me and that amazing mountain view behind. And I did this one using markers mostly and just adding little details with the color. So on our hike, we kind of walked around and you could see all of these beautiful peaks as well as lovely views down of Lake Geneva. And it was quite a relaxing walk, this one, or hike. I guess it was more of a hike we did for the whole day walk on this route. But the views were just so nice, and it was lovely. Just still walking really beautiful areas, wandering through the hills here and having a look. It's just so nice. I found out that this saying means in good old times. These were some little farmhouses, very old kind of style that we came across along the route, and then we would also come onto these beautiful views of some other towns in the area. And you could hear the sheeps and cows with their bells ringing all along the way. It was really something special. Just beautiful views all around, like every direction that you looked. After stopping at a restaurant along the way for lunch, we then wandered along the kind of escarpment or plateau, I guess, and came out down by the town, walked under the cable cars, and just had a look at all the fields filled with dandelions and the view of the mountain. Just at the top of the mountain today, so a really nice view down of Lake Geneva, and yeah, it's really high up. So this is the trail right at the very top of the mountain. Very beautiful views, like that over there. And on this side, got the lake coming up down below. And over there, also really beautiful mountains. It's amazing. So this is right at the top of the mountain where that cross is, and then now we are walking down this way, and really beautiful mountains.
Chambéry, Chambéry.
After walking up to the highest points on this part of the mountain, we then made our way down these paths, which were quite hard to walk on because the rocks were like all loose and it was very, very steep. But yeah, we just went really slowly and made our way. And the whole time I was looking up and just seeing most beautiful views. We had lunch at this point, which was wow, what a place to have lunch. And there was a cuckoo bird that was like sitting on a tree nearby and making all this noise. We then had to come down this chain ladder, or not a chain ladder, just a ladder. And we also saw a slow worm. It's not a snake, it's a slow worm. It's kind of like a lizard that has no legs, so it's not dangerous or anything. And when we eventually came down the mountain to the town, it was starting to storm, so we got there just in time, and there was a beautiful, beautiful rainbow to end the day. What an awesome way to end the day. On this day, we moved into a hotel room which had this beautiful view of the mountain. I set up my watercolors and I decided to just start painting this mountain as well as some of the houses that I saw in the area. This is my progress so far, but I'm still adding like a bunch of details, and I'm kind of working on all of those trees that are in the background there. It's just really, really a beautiful view to sit and paint. So I just finished the painting now, and this is how it turned out. It was really, really fun to paint. I took some liberties with like what I included in the picture, but I tried to include the mountain and then a couple of houses that I've seen around the town, and just added a bunch of details in and outlined it. And yeah, I'm really excited. It turned out really nice. I'm working now on this painting of one of these mountain goats that are quite often seen in this area, and yeah, this is how it's turning out so far. I haven't seen one of these goats in real life, but they are known to be in this area, so just doing it with watercolors. It's been really nice to sit here and paint with the watercolors and yeah, paint some of the things that I've seen in this area and some of the nature that is specific to this area. So yeah, that's the final painting. On this day, it was my birthday, so I had a really, really wonderful croissant breakfast and just a lovely table. And I decided to paint this because when in France, you've got to have your croissants, and obviously all French food is just really amazing. So yeah, I made this watercolor painting of that breakfast. And then we went on a walk from the town where we were down through the forests, and we came across a little village and lovely cowbells hanging, and I saw this house, which was so beautiful, and decided to do a gouache painting of that house. And I just really loved all the flowers that were kind of decorating the walls and the little shutters. And yeah, this was just a lot of fun to create and just a really nice memory. The houses in this whole area were all really beautiful, and just this time of year with all the flowers, it's wow. So this is how it turned out, and it's a nice memory to keep from this trip. After a long walk, we reached the bottom, and this was really close to Lake Geneva. So we then found a bus stop because we wanted to head to Evian, and while waiting for the bus, had a little look around this area. This is Lake Geneva. Beautiful lake views. You can also smell the like fishy kind of fresh water smell in the air. We then arrived in Evian and just had a walk around there. Beautiful buildings and sculptures of wood in the city, and a lovely view of Lake Geneva. Just walking in Evian today by the lake. Along the promenade, we saw these trees, which were really strange and very interesting looking. So I took a photo of it, and I decided to also make a sketch of it using markers, just to remember how kind of weird they were, but also kind of magical looking. And then we wandered into the city and had a look at some of the different buildings there. And it's a really nicely put together city, and just, yeah, was good to see somewhere new. Just found some cool little passage painted with all these murals. They're done really nicely. We had a really nice lunch and then walked along and looked at some of the different houses along the streets. And there was also this really interesting carousel there, and lots of boats. Walking on the promenade. I really like the style of this house over here. It's really cool. The last full day was kind of relaxed. Just walked around the town and went to see some of the other interesting things in the area. Obviously had to stop and look at the flowers and more fields of dandelions. And then the next day we caught a flight at Geneva in Switzerland and took to the air. This was the first time flying in probably about 2 years, so it was kind of strange but also exciting to be back in the air and having a look at all the views down of the farmlands and lakes, and the clouds being in the sky is lovely. So that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope that you enjoyed this trip to France and all the sights and scenes. It was honestly one of the most beautiful areas I've been to, and I was really grateful to be able to go on this trip after not traveling for so long. And it was a lot of fun to create all these artworks, and I hope you enjoyed seeing those too. So if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.